Hi, Mike.
How you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Thank you for coming back and talking with us today. I'm really excited
Yes,
about the topic.
great topic as usual.
Yeah,
Yes.
the importance of the 1% rule, the constant, never-ending improvement. That's the topic
Mm,
today, and it's a
yes.
very strong topic. Why is this in
Mm.
something that's important to you?
Because it changed my life. It really did change my life. Understand the importance of working on oneself. We cannot divorce from the idea that if we're gonna um, be anything in this world, make anything of ourselves, we have to understand the importance of personal growth, personal evolution, and personal development. And because there's a lot of things that we're not aware of as humans, and only by working on ourselves, that 1% rule will actually help us to sort of transcend all what is going on around us.
So when you talk about personal growth, what do you mean when you say that?
Okay, and personal growth is getting to know who you are, getting to know that you're more than what you see, getting to know the abilities that you're capable of, knowing that there's no limitation, and your relationship with the universe. Now that's in the quantum field. Now all of this is it's just so enormous because there's a lot to take in. Now, if your mind is full of, you know, just everyday stuff and just data, and you're not willing to clear out that data, then you're not going to be able to, um, transcend this matrix that we're in. And it's important that we really get a grip with working on ourselves on many, many levels. So there's the spiritual component, the mental component, the emotional component, there's the nutritional component, there's the physical component, the social component. And all of these components are um, is who we are, and knowing that we're human biofield. I mean, it just goes on. It's a whole body of knowledge that we're not ready. It's not readily available for humans to, well, not available for people to access. In the fact that they don't take the time out to kind of just go around in circles.
I love that the aspect of you saying clearing out. Do you know what I mean? So not only putting information in, gaining that knowledge, but something that I don't think we think about is getting rid of what's not necessary and getting rid
Mm.
of things that aren't serving us anymore. So I've never
Mm.
really, when you think about growth, you kind of think about things coming in, but definitely sometimes things have to come out in order for it
Absolutely.
to grow.
Yeah, absolutely. You're gonna have to just do some defragging. You're gonna get rid of the notion that limited beliefs, false narrative you're following, false notions that you have about yourself, because people perceive themselves as a name. And I said, you're not your name, or your color, you're not your color. It goes a lot deeper than that. When we say to people that you're an essence within the body and you're vibrating at different frequencies based on your consciousness, then you start talking a whole higher knowledge of life, because this is how the game works. But the game at the moment is run by fear. And if we're in that constant fear, this is what's slowing down a lot of people from creating the reality they deserve. And so the 1% rule means you must learn something new about yourself, about how the universe works, and how the actual rule on this planet works. What is going on the planet. Don't be afraid to visit those unpleasant truths or the ugly truths. You've got to know the playing field, how to navigate it. And the good news is, once you start working on the 1% rule, which is evolving each and every day, your life becomes magical, mystical, and unbelievable and remarkable.
I suppose in a way, it might start quite slow, but as you get into the habit, I could imagine that you're learning, you're growing, and then it's going to start, exploding on that. It's
Yes.
very gradual. You might not notice it at first, but eventually it's going to start speeding up, and then you're going to be wise up to what's happening in the world, about your essence, about you knowing yourself. Do you know what I mean? You'll be a wiser person for it. So I can imagine it growing kind of thing.
Yes. One with the divine is a majority, and that takes a lot of understanding. And when you start to know who you are, you start to make things work for you. Things are working out for you. You are a vibrational being having in this wonderful experience on this earth. And subsequently, if we live in a holographic universe, if we can understand that level, a holographic universe by Michael Tolbert, that's the book you can get hold of to read about this. If we can understand that we are living in this holographic universe, then things will change. So this is where you've got to go off the road, the beaten track of the everyday person. So, right, I'm going over here because there's a few people who are really using this knowledge and having the most magnificent life. So they understand about neurobiology. They understand about neuroplasticity. They understand about neurogenesis. They understand about the photons that come from us and our relationship to the universe and particles and waves and how it works. They know about the different frequencies of the brain and how it interacts with the field. And if we don't know this, we're going to always be trying to find that light switch in the dark. Where's that light switch? And and we're just going to be struggling and pushing against everything every day.
Pushing
So
against
time to sort of really step back.
I suppose pushing against the grain, in essence, we're fighting.
Yeah.
Things that if you gain the knowledge and you realize that you're an energy and a frequency and you've got the capacity to change your frequency,
Yes.
at a different level, then you're not in the system, you're working within your essence.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, if people are a bit miffed by this, but the Russians have done research on this, that we are human biofields. They've actually done Kerlin photography, has proven that we are vibration. So if you look at Kerlin photography or do some research on that, you see the frequency that comes off the human being. Then you've got our chakra systems. We can go into many depths. I won't go now because we'll have to spend hours talking about how deep we are as humans.
Yes.
And all I'm saying in this presentation is that we need to start working on knowing ourselves on a very deep intrinsic level and start really understanding how the universe can be a wind in our sail. I love that. When you got a wind in your sail, you're going somewhere. You're going somewhere. Dreams and aspirations and vision can now come to fruition because you understand the nature of the game. And remember, there's only a few that run the planet that knows it's got information. So we as the regular human, we've got to step up to the plate and say, right, I want some of this. I want to know who I am and I want to know how this game of life works because it is a game of life.
What do you say to people who part of the fear of getting to know themselves is because they might not like themselves? That maybe they've done stuff that that they're not proud of, or society might not be proud of, or their spirit within wouldn't be proud of. That can be quite scary to kind of confront that. What do you say to people who want to be on this journey, who want to be different, but are ashamed of their past or their thoughts or their feelings?
Yeah. Nice question, Sophia. I'm no saint. And we need to confront what we call our personal egos, and we need to confront our personal shadows. And these are aspects on our lower self. These aspects are within us. We've got the higher self, we've got the lower self, we've got the personal ego, and most of all, we've got the shadows. So what we need to do is to be able to sit in our own steam. Yeah. You've got to sit and confront and learn that you can forgive yourself. Because if you think about it, let's say you're in your 20s, yeah? Mm-hmm. And you commit all these different different crimes, and you've done things in the wrong then, and you're in your 40s and or 50s, yeah, and you say, all right, you reconcile that, I didn't know much then, but I know more now. You can forgive your past self. You can forgive. You don't know what you know now. What you know now, you didn't know then. So what you know now, you say, well, okay, let me forgive myself and say, right, it's time to sort of honor the fact that I was just trying to find my way. We all are just trying to find our way home.
Yeah.
And the first and foremost is just to, confront those fears and work through them through journaling, work through them through work using the Hawaiian prayer, work through them through sacred prayers, work through them by cleansing your chakra, work through them by doing just energy work. There's lots of different methodologies and concepts we can use just to alleviate, dissipate, dissolve all of that negativity of the past. And moreover, we should say, well, as you do evolve, there's no past, there's no future, there's only the present. And that's where the power is, the power of now.
Now, yes, very, very true. And I think that we're talking about forgiving yourself, acknowledging now, maybe those things are a lesson, that you've learned something through that, and there's a learning in every experience. I suppose forgiveness of self, and maybe even the forgiveness of others, to forgive other people as well. I think there's lots we hold a lot of negativity, and it's because somebody hurt our emotions, our feelings X amount of years ago. That person probably has forgotten all about it, broken heart or whatever it could be, and but we're still hanging on to that, and that can cause blockages to our.
Yeah, I think that's a point of call for another seminar on forgiveness. That is a whole body of knowledge we need to talk about forgiveness, and I'll bring a lot to the table on that one. But for now, Sophia, on that forgiveness, we've just really got to say to ourselves, I did my best at the level of consciousness that I had then, but now I know better. We can't hold on to that, because once we hold on to that, that then diminishes our creativity. We cannot create with that. So if we want to create, we've got to let go and let the divine, let go, let the divine. And we work on this. We must show that discernment, to take the time out to spend with ourselves to resolve these issues. We go into therapy here, therapy there. We are our own best therapists.
Yes.
We're our own best therapists. You can sit here and you can stimulate endorphins. You can stimulate serotonin. You can stimulate oxytocin. You can stimulate your crown chakra just by sitting. There's so much you can do by sitting with a little bit of knowledge. So all we got to do now is shift our whole mindset, shift our consciousness, shift our emotional proclivity to the highest frequencies, so we can start creating. And this is the evolution of the 1%. I do something new every day. I do something difficult ever so often. I'm learning something new about myself and the universe and how it works, because this is how we start to break the mental slavery of life, because we realize that we've been just being programmed to think a certain way, where we want to do is a 360 degrees consciousness of life. Know that we are not the only human beings here, knowing that we are connected to intergalactic forces, knowing that universe can work for us. You're not going to hear that for school and colleges and universities and stuff like that. You just got to go and do your own due diligence on this journey. It's imperative.
And I suppose we say 1%, it sounds such a small number, but it's actually quite powerful, the aspect of just setting that small goal. And I think, as you said, you mentioned different techniques, and I suppose it's what resonates with you as well at that time. It might be your physiology, where you can just learn that just by changing your posture can have a difference to your energy, just by
absolutely. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Or you said it could be learning that bit of information. I think it's what resonates for you on that daily, and it can change and it can evolve, and you can use a
Yes.
of things. I think that it just shows that in that 1%, there's a range of flexibility from what you're saying.
Yes, absolutely. When you think about the cumulative effect of that, if you were working on yourself, let's say you were one day you read a book, you read 15 pages. That's one day. Another day you start to learn a new language. Another day you learn a new computer program. Another day you met a new friend who was more advanced in other spheres of life than yourself. And another day you take up a new program. Imagine that's like I've gone and another day you learn a new culinary skill. That's 6 days of growth. Now you imagine 365 days of that, Sophia. Do the homework of growth. Let's say that you were studying finance, you're broke, and you said, right, I want to learn about finance for the next 365 days of the year. So, and then what will happen to you? Go somewhere that's going to be very fitting for you and very conducive for you and very complementary to your life. It's a win-win all the way, and it doesn't cost you anything. Look at that; it just costs you. Whoa, I like it.
Do you think that people are also a bit resistant because they want the instant microwave society?
Ah,
I think that's
yes, yes. It in some cases that's where we're at with some people. They want it instantly now, but they don't realize the backdrop of it. This you got the old self, old thoughts, old thinking, old habits, old behavior. All of that needs to be resolved before you can go forward. I think we said this before in the sacred text. You cannot put new wine in old skin. We've got to clear out. So you've got to take time out, get a journal going, and start resolving different aspects. Are you having negative self talk, negative dialogue about yourself and the world? Are you sort of unforgiving, or you haven't forgiven someone in the past, yourself or others? Are you imploding from your life? All of this needs to be address before you can even take on this knowledge. Because what's going to happen if you got all of that stuff going on inside you, and then you're trying to take on new knowledge, it's all going to be convoluted. You're just bewildered and perplexed about the whole game of life. So you've got to take the time out to right. I need to get rid of these false beliefs. I've got to get rid of this false imagination I have about life and my life. And once you start dissolving that, then you can upload and get going on that 1% journey.
I think that's really important. I think that's really interesting to in essence, what you're saying is we're being like to be that empty vessel, to be that childlike state where you can absorb the information.
Yes.
One way of absorbing what you need to do is to release information so that you can absorb more. And it's also what you're saying. It's about questioning. It reminds me of Katie Bryan or Brian Katie Hughes,
Yes.
by the way.
Yes.
If you're talking about loving what is and to question.
Yes.
So it's not saying that you're not going to have thoughts. We all have a story that we tell ourselves, but sometimes we need to question those stories to find out what's the foundation of it. Is that information true? Do you believe it's true? Do you know what I mean? Was it evidence and the turnabout? I think it's about kind of questioning those situations so that we can release it and realize that that comes with forgiveness, that comes with acceptance, that comes with growth and development.
Yes.
Isn't it? But it's that childlike state and being open.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, once you get on this journey, you start to talk about self-love. And I think for me, self-love is the most powerful thing a human can really embrace at this present moment. Knowing that we are love, that's another story. But if we can embrace that self-love, then everything that's not serving us will start to dissolve. How beautiful is that? You start to develop that self-love. Everything else then starts to dissolve, and then everything else starts to work for you because now you start oscillating. Now you start vibrating. Now you start attracting situations, circumstances, and events and people into your life for what you desire. You know, it's really is a huge shift of consciousness. And once this starts to happen, everything's a whole avalanche of wonderful things start to happen to you. When I started to realize this, and I started to do the 1% rule, oh my, I feel like you've won the lottery. Literally, you feel like you won the lottery. Every magical things, mystical things, beautiful things start happening to you. You can't even make it up what's happening. Or you can say, I got a friend, I always say, when they were talking to me, I said, Mike, you got more good news. I said, yeah, I've got more good news, you know, because it's that 1% rule. It's constantly working. I'm working, I'm going somewhere. I have a dream, I got aspirations, and I want to make this world a better place. I don't want to be pushing, I don't want to be fighting against anyone. If I can stand here in my own persona, in my own sovereign self, and be creator and connect myself, why not? Let's do it. It doesn't cost anything. It just requires discernment. And we call it the great work. And that's what we're doing here at Sophia, is educating people, taking back their power. Take back your power and get to work on self.
Yes, definitely, definitely. I think that is really powerful. And I was thinking that we need to prioritize things, and sometimes you said life can be a distraction, and maybe we just need to have that little sacred space, where we go around and to do those journals, or to do to think about life, think about what is important, what isn't important, And I think, I know we talk about it quite a lot, but that aspect of gratitude can actually be really, really important. And even though I think we can easily fall into the gap of feeling sorry for ourselves because we're comparing ourselves to the Joneses, to the Americans, to the neighbors next door, there's a comparison. And then we can forget about all the blessings, all the blissful aspects that we do have, because we're so comparing ourselves to other people, not having that gratitude and not having that time. I think having that time could help us to have that gratitude, and that could be important for our growth as well.
Yeah. Yes, just 3 words I give people in my mentorship program is 3 words you've got to navigate your way through life is the word gratitude, have a strong vision, and keep discipline. These 3 words will pull you through your darkest hours, your deepest despairs, and the turbulence of life, the grace of life, understanding that, there is something higher than you. If we can just come to that under deep understanding that we're connected to something higher as well as our higher self. There's a brilliant book I recommend people to go and get, is The Light Shall Set You Free by Norman Milojevic, a fabulous book which shows you about yourself. The light shall set you free, knowing that you are connected to something higher. So when you take that time out and you make your sacred space and you're doing your gratitude, then you have a vision for your life. Mind you, if you're doing the 1%, all this falls in very nicely. So you've got a strong vision for your life. Yeah, because remember, in the sacred text, it tells us, where the people has no vision, they perish. So you need to have a vision which will pull you through the darkness. And then what makes it work is the discipline. You've got to be disciplined to make it work. That's the mechanics of it now. That's right. Putting the foundation to it. Yes. And that when you've got the foundation to it, then everything starts to work for you. All 10 fingers pointing at you.
Is very much also about kind of trusting the process, really. And
yes,
then I suppose when barriers come, fear, wars, stress, negative events, do you know what I mean? If you've already got that discipline in place, then you can work through those challenges.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely spot on. So what we got, if we look at it like this way, make it easier. We've got the macro universe and we've got the micro universe. Macro, micro. We got this universe here. Yes, there are nefarious things going on all over the place, but you're still in your micro universe. You're still in your micro universe, and there are forces around us that will help us. It's not dead in the sea. We got to remember who we are. Just remember who we are. But that 1% rule is the key. It's simple, but yet it might be hard for a lot of people to embrace. Why? Because it's work on yourself, and no one else can do it. No one else can pick up the books. No one else can go into that gym. No one else can learn that new language. No one else can help you with money if you don't study money. You have it there, and it's all free. It's free, free, free. The 1%.
Definitely, yeah. I love that. I mean, a brilliant way to end everything. It's about, no, again, about taking responsibility and change. And you said that you are your hero, and I think that if we hang on to that, even just thinking we are our own heroes, we just need to do the work. Then
Absolutely, yeah,
move forward.
yeah. I like that. The law. This is something I get one of my clients, all my clients, to look at. Is the number one golden rule is the law of self-responsibility. I said, go Google it for yourself, research it for yourself. The law of self. Take the power back. It's the only way. Stop blaming. Stop ridiculing. Start working on self, because there's a lot of work you need to do. There's a lot of work to do on me. I didn't just come like this. I had to do a lot of work. I'm still working on me.
We learn every day. We evolve every day. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
So we're not the
Yes.
same we were 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years.
No.
And we won't be the same person in 10 years in the future. So it's about saying that, finding ways to make the best of that journey so that you can be the better version of yourself, better version of you.
Yes. I think it's time. I was watching a TikTok channel, a very important one, stating that it's time for truth, and this is truth.
Yes.
What we're speaking here is divine truth.
Yes.
You are more than what you see, and you have got work to do on yourself.
Definitely.
Take back your power.
And I think the past few years, there's been a lot of truths coming out. So that's definitely something.
Yes.
But again, Mike, thank you so much. It's been so informative and as usual. And I've thoroughly enjoyed that time's gone so quickly. So, but thank you for sharing. And you've given us all something to think about. So thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. It's a pleasure working with you, Sophia. And hopefully we'll do it again.
We'll speak again soon. You take
Namaste. Thank you.
I believe one day, I believe in the future. I believe in the past. I believe what you truly desire, you can bring to pass. All you need is a focus and a story to hold, and the faith that you can achieve what's